Hello everyone, back to the OP Narration channel. Before the discussion starts, please click the subscribe button and activate the notification bell so you don't miss the admin's latest info and theory. In the world of One Piece there is what is called the Underworld. The Underworld is a term for various illegal activities, such as hidden transactions between certain parties. The Underworld is usually a place for buying and selling weapons, valuables, important information, and even living things. That world has secrecy and various mysteries. So this business can only be reached by certain people. In One Piece there is also a surface world, which the term Mai refers to normal places, where people are doing activities as usual. The surface world includes oceans, islands, and kingdoms. In the surface world all common activities occur, such as adventures, battles and so on. At the end is the world above. The upper world refers to the place of the highest rulers, namely Marijoy. If it is likened to mythological stories, then it is likened, the underworld is hell, the surface world is the earth and the upper world is the sky. In this video, Channel OP Narration will discuss the various kings of the three worlds in One Piece story. Let's start the discussion from the Underworld. The Underworld has a large-scale crime syndicate, big names in the world, many are involved in various underworld activities. For example, Doflamingo, formerly known as the Joker of the Underworld, he was involved in various big transactions, such as selling the devil fruit smile to Kaido. According to law, Doflamingo is known as the most influential person in the underworld. Besides Doflamingo, there are also important people in the underworld. The first is Doflamingo the Lone Shark King. From his nickname it seems clear that the business in the underworld is related to lending money illegally. Secondly, there is Umit, who is known as the King of Shipping. Most likely Umit's business in the underworld is related to illegal things in the world. Oceans, such as the smuggling of people or valuables from one island to another. Third, there is Gibberson, a warehouse owner veteran known as the Undercover. It is not clear what Gibberson's specific business is in the underworld, but according to my opinion, he may be an expert in changing people's identities for various illegal needs. Fourth, there is Drug Peklo, known as Major Undertaker. From his name, which has the word drug, it seems that Peklo's drug business is illegal drugs. Fifth, there is Morgans. He is the owner of the World Economic Journal, which means that Morgan's business in the underworld is related to information. Sixth, there is Stussy, in the underworld of the Stussy business, around fun, which means he sells women to become prostitutes. These 6 people are called the Emperors of the Underworld, but according to my opinion, both Doflamingo and the Emperors of the Underworld, they are all not the most important people. Law and maybe many others think that Doflamingo is the most influential person in the underworld, but that's just because they just don't know that others have more influence than Doflamingo. Only certain people know about the underworld very well. The most important person in the underworld is Shanks. The reason not many people know about it is because Shanks is very selective in choosing who he wants to do business with. Shanks' activities in the underworld are carried out in complete secrecy. Shanks' colleagues are very powerful and influential people. He has connections with world governments, has connections with underworld brokers. He might even have connections with the Revolutionary Army. Shanks' business seems to be related to various important information. That's why it's not surprising the Gorosei want to meet with Shanks. Because the information that Shanks will convey must be very important and valid. I think only the higher-ups know about this, such as Sama, Gorosei, Kong and Sengoku. So from the moment Shanks came to stop Marineford, Sengoku wanted to comply with Shanks' request. At that time Sengoku said he wanted to stop the war because the request came from Shanks. Sengoku's words indicated that he knew that Shanks was a very important person, so Sengoku did not hesitate to comply with his request. Having connections with various strong parties, makes Shanks the most important figure in the Underworld. Even so, the secrecy about Shanks in the Underworld is very well maintained. That's why Shanks can be considered the king of the Underworld. There is no king in the surface world right now, but the person who will become the king in the surface world is Luffy. The surface world includes seas and lands, which means that to be a king, one must go through great adventures in the seas and lands. Luffy has gone through a series of great adventures, and as time goes by, Luffy's adventures will be more intense, until he finally reaches Laugh Tale Island. Then became the Pirate King. Luffy will also have a very important role for the world. When Shirohige talked about the biggest war, he said that in the future there will be a figure who will carry the burden of history and fight for the world. That figure was Luffy. After bearing the burden of history and fighting for the world, countless people would acknowledge Luffy. Even now, Luffy has done great things in many places, such as Kingdom of Alabasta, Island of Fishman, Kingdom of Dressrosa, and soon in Wano Kuni. Many people recognize the figure of Luffy, with the great adventures that have been passed and the important things he has done. Then naturally, Luffy will be considered the king of the surface world, as well as the king of pirates. As for the king in the upper world, right now it is Sama, because he is the supreme leader in the world government. The upper world is where the rulers are. They are like gods who make rules, give punishments, and do whatever they want. World governments are like that. They can easily carry out massacres, like the incident at Ohara or the extermination of the Lunarians race. Even the Tenryubito, who are world nobles, also feel themselves as gods. Such people really enjoy their power in the upper world, but the situation of the upper world will soon change. In the biggest war that will come, the government of the world will lose and the power will be taken by Monkey D. Dragon, then Sama, Gorosei and Tenryubito will all fall. Indeed, apart from Dragon, Luffy will also play an important role in bringing down the world government. Even so, Luffy will not be interested in taking any position in the government. Luffy is not interested in power, he just wants to be the Pirate King, because Luffy's definition of Pirate King is the most free person. Given that Luffy only wants freedom, it is clear that Dragon will be the supreme leader of the new world government. Dragon will be the ruler of the world over, aka the king of the sky. With Shanks as the king of the underworld, Luffy as the king of the surface or the king of pirates, and Dragon as the king of the sky, the stability of the world as a whole will really be maintained. That was my theory about the various kings of the three worlds in the One Piece story. What do you think? Please write in the comments column below. Don't forget to subscribe, share and comment. See you in the next video.